Do you truly believe you have control over your life? Look around you. Your job, your income, the people you interact with, the decisions you make every single day. Did you really choose all of this? Or has someone else, without you realizing, already made these choices for you decades ago? Most people live a destiny they didn't write, follow a path they didn't pick, and repeat patterns whose origins they don't even understand. And that's where the danger lies. If you don't take control of your mind and your paradigms, someone else will keep doing it for you. Have you ever wondered why some things in your life don't change, no matter how hard you try? Maybe you change jobs, move cities, start a new relationship, but deep down everything stays more or less the same. You still feel that same emptiness, the same financial limit, the same fear that nothing will truly work out. Have you asked yourself why? The answer lies in something almost nobody talks about, but that controls everything: paradigms. A paradigm is a set of beliefs, behaviors, customs, and habits you inherited without ever questioning. These ideas passed from generation to generation and now control how you think, feel, and act without you noticing. Do you really think you chose how to think about money, love, or success? Most likely, these were installed in you as a child. You heard phrases like, money doesn't grow on trees, born poor, die poor, in life is hard, that's not for people like us. And when you hear this repeatedly from a young age, you record it as truth. Even if consciously you say you want to be rich and free, your subconscious says, no, this is not for you. I lived this. I earned about 6,000 euros a year and owed about 9,000, and in my mind that was normal. I repeated what I saw around me. People complaining about bills, debts, and bad luck. I entered that cycle too. I thought the problem was the job, the country, the system, but the real problem was my paradigm. I thought small. I thought about debt all the time. And like a magnet, I attracted more debt. I couldn't see opportunities because my focus was always on what I lacked. And when you focus on scarcity, guess what you manifest? More scarcity. It's hard to admit, but it's true. Because it means the life you have today, that with all its limits, frustrations, and fears, was built on patterns you didn't choose, but continue to feed. But it's also liberating. Because if a paradigm can be learned, it can also be reprogrammed. And it all starts with awareness. Notice your automatic thoughts. When someone talks about money near you, what do you feel? Tightness, fear, guilt, anger. These emotions aren't there by accident. They're a reflection of an old inherited paradigm. You've been repeating patterns that aren't even yours. And if you keep living on autopilot, your life will keep going in circles, with new scenes, but the same story. Think about it. How many times have you tried to take a new course, start a business, change fields, and stopped halfway through? How many times have you started a new phase with excitement, only to end up back at the same point after a while? It's not because you're lazy, incompetent, or unlucky. It's because your paradigm, that invisible, powerful structure, pulls you back to what's familiar. It keeps you where you feel safe, even if that means staying unhappy. And I ask you, how long will you accept living a life you didn't choose? How long will you follow a script written by others, in a different time, with a different mindset? You don't have to stay there. You can write your own story. But that takes courage, and the courage to face your own thoughts, question what you've always believed, and reprogram the foundation of your mind. Try a simple experiment. For the next 7 days, observe everything you do automatically. How you wake up, eat, react to problems, talk about money and yourself, and write it down. Question it all. Ask yourself, does this really come from me, or was it programmed into me? Most of the answers will surprise you. This exercise isn't just about self-awareness. It's about taking back control. Because as long as you operate on autopilot, your life will remain limited by the same beliefs. But the moment you identify those patterns, you gain the power to change them. And that's where transformation begins. I am living proof. I changed my life not because I won the lottery or was lucky, but because I rewrote the paradigms that controlled my destiny. I remember sitting in an office in London, everything seemingly in order, money coming in, business going well, but a question kept echoing in my mind. What exactly happened to me? I was earning over $1 million a year, which is about 900,000 euros, yet just a few years before, I was broke, in debt, and directionless. And the answer I found was as simple as it was powerful. I changed the program in my mind. Most people think real change is hard, slow or impossible. They say things like, "I'm just like this isn't for me, my life has always been this way." But those phrases aren't conscious reflections. They're symptoms of a subconscious program running in the background, making decisions for you without your awareness. If you don't change this, any external effort will only be temporary, like a rubber band that stretches but always snaps back to the same place. You might see a brief improvement, earn a little more, switch jobs, or close a sale, but if your paradigm doesn't shift, you'll end up back where you started. When you consciously install a new mental model and decide you're a new person with new standards, something begins to happen. It's not mystical, it's science. Modern neuroscience shows the brain is plastic. It can rewire itself. Every thought you repeat with intention, every emotion you hold with focus, every action you do with discipline forms new neural connections. These connections become habits, and those habits build your new reality. But your old self won't go quietly. It will try to pull you back. It will remind you of failures, make you doubt, and use voices of family, friends, teachers, or co-workers who said you can't do it to convince you to stay put. At that moment, you must make a firm decision, one with no turning back, like I did, and like many others who changed their lives. When I began acting from my new inner program, results came. Not because I knew everything, nor because I was better, but because I became a different person. And the world responded to this new version of me. People treated me differently. Opportunities appeared. It wasn't coincidence, it was resonance. This transformation requires commitment. Changing a paradigm isn't an event. It's a process demanding repetition, intention, and above all, discipline. Discipline to think differently, even when the world pressures you to think the same. Discipline to act even when results aren't visible yet. Discipline to hold your new image, even when the old you tries to return. Now I ask you, are you willing to embody this new version of yourself, to act like the person you want to become even before you see the fruits? Because that's exactly how it works. You don't see to believe, you believe and then see. Results always follow the decision. Think of your life as a road. If you keep using the same map, you'll always arrive at the same place. But if you change your mental GPS and reset your coordinates, you'll reach destinations once thought unreachable. You might be living a life you don't like now, but that doesn't mean it's permanent. It's only a reflection of who you've been until now. Once you change your inner program, your direction changes. And when direction changes, life changes with it. No one is doomed to repeat the past, unless they choose to. And now you have a new choice. Reprogram, decide, transform, because that's where it all begins. The universe doesn't respond to your wants or complaints. It responds to your vibration. At first, this can be confusing because we were taught that physical effort, willpower, and hard work are the main drivers of our results. But that's not entirely true. What truly determines what you attract into your life is the energetic frequency you emit. And this frequency is shaped by your thoughts, emotions, and most importantly, your state of consciousness. Have you noticed that when you're frustrated, anxious, or worried about money, things seem to get worse? More bills show up, more problems, more unexpected events. This is not bad luck, it's vibrational resonance. You're vibrating in scarcity. And the universe, which acts like a perfectly precise mirror, can only reflect back what you emit. It doesn't judge or interpret, it simply responds. The laws governing the universe are so exact that we can send a spacecraft to the moon and calculate the exact second of landing. That wouldn't be possible if these laws were random. Just as we use these laws in engineering, we can also use them to create an extraordinary life. But most people ignore this. They try to change their lives with logic and effort alone, while continuing to feed emotional patterns of fear, doubt, guilt, and anxiety. And these emotions create a vibration that attracts more experiences, reinforcing those same feelings. It's a cycle. I discovered this when I started studying deeply the principles of the mind and universal laws. I realized everything is energy, and that energy is organized according to laws, not desires. No matter how much you want something, if your body, mind, and vibration conflict with that desire, the result never comes. And even if it comes for a moment, it slips through your hands because you're not in tune with it. Neuroscience has proven that your thoughts generate electrical impulses in the brain, which activate neural networks that release chemicals, neurotransmitters. These chemicals create the emotions you feel. In other words, thoughts produce feelings. Feelings create vibrational states, and those states shape your reality. This is not philosophy, it's science. If you constantly think about debt, fear of loss, or frustration with your job, your body feels it as truth and vibrates at that frequency. And what you start attracting are experiences that validate that internal state. But if you consciously decide to think about abundance, gratitude, trust, and fulfillment, the universe begins to respond. Even if it feels false at first, over time your body starts to accept it as truth, and the universe's responses change. That's why I say, you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And you are what you consistently feel. What matters is not what you say, but what you vibrate. Your vibration is the sum of what you think, feel, and do every day. But here's the crucial point. Many think, oh, so I just have to think positive and everything will change. It's not that simple. Positive thinking without transforming paradigms is like spraying perfume on garbage. It may mask the smell briefly, but the odor returns. You need to change the foundation, clear the emotional trash vibrating scarcity, fear, resentment. You need to reprogram your mind to hold new internal images, new truths, new emotions, and this requires practice. Quantum physics talks about wave function collapse, and that's exactly how you can collapse your current reality and create a new one by aligning with a different frequency. Simply put, reality only takes shape when it is consciously observed, meaning whatever you focus on with intent becomes real. This means you hold immense power, far greater than you imagine. But this power only works when your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are aligned. Many people desire change but vibrate in doubt. They want abundance but think, this won't work for me. They want love but live in fear of rejection, and the universe responds to the real vibration you emit, not the superficial intention. So the first step is taking responsibility. Stop blaming the government, the crisis, your childhood, your ex, or your boss. As long as you place your power outside, you emit helplessness, and those who vibrate helplessness attract more reasons to feel helpless. But when you decide to take control, even if nothing outside changes, something shifts inside, and that internal change starts a new reality. When your vibration changes, so does your perception. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw problems and feel confidence where there was fear. You act on things that once seemed impossible, and at that moment the universe starts moving with you. You meet new people, have ideas you never imagined, and find yourself in places you never expected. But none of this starts outside. It starts within your frequency, your energy field, your mind. The only question you need to ask yourself now is, what vibration am I sending to the universe? Because the answer to everything you experience is there, and the change you seek begins there as well. You may know all the laws of the universe, read the greatest personal development books, watch all the lectures, write goals, and put motivational quotes on your wall. But if you lack the discipline to apply what you know, nothing will change. True transformation happens not when you understand, but when you act. And you act consistently, even when you don't feel like it, when you're tired, when everything inside wants to revert to old patterns. I say this from personal experience. Action is what creates motivation, not the other way around. Motivation comes after you start moving toward what you truly want. When your body senses that you're heading toward your goal, it begins to respond. Do you want to change your life? Then stop waiting for a sign, a push, or an external answer. Give yourself a command and follow that command, like a general who stands by his word with resolve. Because discipline is the art of becoming trustworthy to yourself. The art of trusting your word more than the circumstances. Yes, at first it will feel uncomfortable. Your old self will scream. It will ask you to sleep a little longer, procrastinate another day, accept what you've always accepted. It will tell you it's okay to leave things for later. But I promise you that later is where dreams go to die. What really hurts is not failing or making mistakes. What hurts is knowing you betrayed yourself. That you knew what you needed to do and chose not to do it. That you promised yourself a new life, but kept serving your old self. That silent pain slowly erodes your self-confidence, energy, and identity. But on the other side of that choice lies something extraordinary. When you begin to obey your own commands, something inside you grows stronger. You walk taller, speak with more firmness, think more clearly. Because now your mind knows, I keep my promises. And that changes everything. Whether it's starting a new habit, breaking a cycle, finishing a project, changing careers, or taking care of your body. What matters is not the size of the action, but the commitment to it. Saying, I will do this and nothing will stop me. And sustaining that on good days and bad. Because the truth is, the results you desire don't belong to the future. They belong to the identity you assume now. And that identity is only maintained through discipline. Look at the people you admire. Those who truly transformed their lives were not the most talented or luckiest. They were the most committed. The ones who decided that no matter what, they would do what needed to be done, even scared, even alone, even without guarantees. And are you ready to be that person? Because I promise you this. If you give yourself a command today and obey it every day, no excuses, no breaks, no self-sabotage, the course of your life will change forever. You will become someone who builds reality with intention, who creates destiny with action, who turns thought into matter. And when that happens, you won't ask permission to live the life you want. You will simply live. Because you have finally become the kind of person who keeps the promises they make to themselves. And that is the greatest power anyone can have. You are not bound by the path your life has taken so far. You have the power to change the program, take control and build a new path. A path aligned with who you really are and what you truly want. If you felt something awaken inside you, don't stop here. Keep going. The next video on your screen is your next step. In it, you will climb another rung in your journey of evolution, expand your awareness and become 1% better than you are now. Thank you for being here with me today. I'll see you in the next video.